Welcome to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever seen a horse who could talk? With your host, Louisa Barton, who really wants to be a famous rider. She really loves to ride fast. Presented by Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care.
Truth is, I have horses with people problems.
Now here's the Brit on the bit, Louisa Barton. Enjoy the show.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Mr. Richard Larson, a man of great integrity, cares about every single bale of hay and about taking care of his customers. He also has a huge heart for those genuinely in need. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital. Thank you for joining us on the Horse Talk Show presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms. They are our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I just realized I got my legs crossed the wrong way. Sorry, Pete's all about the long leg. I'm Louisa Barton. This is Dancing Pete Roda with Complementary Horsemanship. And we thank you for joining us. We have a great show lineup for you. Joining us this week on the Horse Talk Show, we have Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. We're going to be talking about vision issues in older horses. We also have episode 3 with Megan from MV Equestrian Sales and Training, Woes and No's on Horse Shopping. And champion show jumper rider for Seminole Feed, Kyle Dewar, is with us from Chestnut Hill Farm. Epic Dog Days recap should be lots of fun with the rodeo clown. And we have Going Out on a Limb with Joe Licari from Joe's Tree Service. Lots and lots of good stuff and maybe some cake involved. Sorry we're late starting. It's been a very challenging week this week.
We were preparing for Louisa's birthday.
Yes, that's right. And I've also been out of town unexpectedly with my dad not very well. So this week's been a little bit chaotic, but hopefully with all your wonderful prayers and thoughts. And I need to say before we even start, thank you so much. Last time I looked at my social media, there was something like 380 happy birthdays,
Whoop, whoop.
which is amazing. Thank you all for being so incredibly thoughtful and wishing me a happy birthday. And then when I posted my cake picture, I think there were another 200 and something after that. So I think it was something like 500 or 600 people wished me a happy birthday this week, and that might be a record breaker. So thank you all for being so thoughtful. And when I posted a picture of my dad and asked for your prayers and thanked for the prayers that I'd already received, I think there were about 80 comments and a couple of hundred thoughtful people.
So your dad is doing better.
My dad is much improved. Thank you so much. And
Yay.
My sister's here from England visiting with him now. So I know she's watching him for me, which is good. And hopefully I'll see him again later this week. So, but I
Is
just
your
want to tell
sister
you
going to
all,
come in?
She should, shouldn't she?
She should.
She's in one of my forts right now.
Yeah,
He says I have forts, Fort Myers and Fort McCoy.
She's like, well, they're down in Fort something. And I was like, isn't that where you live? And she's like, no. And I'm like, okay, where do you live then? She gave another fort name.
Yeah, one of my forts. He said, well, I get confused with your forts. So there you go. But anyway, thank you all for being so thoughtful this week, and I appreciate it so much. So thoughtful between my birthday and then my concerns with my dad, who's my hero, and everybody's just been so incredibly kind and sweet. And I've got to do a shout out for Ocala Dog Ranch because he had a massive event this weekend at the Equine Performance Center, and I had to drop my dogs off with him and run to one of my forts, and he was like, just bring them. So Neil at Ocala Dog Ranch is just hats off to such a wonderful guy. Anyway, we have some events we're going to share with you. Piranha Foundation, yes, has their 3rd annual golf tournament. This is a blast. This is so much fun. The Piranha people are so fun, all of them.
Maybe they need a golf clown.
That's a good idea. Ben, Pete's going to be calling you after the show.
No.
November the 8th on a Friday is a 7 a.m. check-in and a shotgun start at 9. It's $1,000 a team. Might be a couple of openings left for teams. The price does include your green fees, cart, and all your festivities. There's a breakfast, a lunch, a live auction, a gala, great awards and prizes. It's fantastic, and all the money from this goes to 3 amazing charities: Canine for Warriors, Heart of Florida Youth Ranch, and Gentle Carousel Miniature Therapy Horses.
Woo-woo.
It's wonderful. We're rather excited about being celebrity judge and media sponsor of this wonderful Mounted Police Championships that's going to be at World Equestrian Center.
January 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Come and check out these great horses and police officers while getting to see us judge for the first time together.
Yes, love to see these mounted police compete. It's going to be teams from all over the place coming in. And if you didn't see the horses in the downtown Ocala market this weekend, our mounted police for the Ocala Police Department visited the downtown market in Ocala this weekend, which was so super. So if you see OPD out and about on horseback, make sure you say hi to them. We're very, very proud of the Levy family in their wonderful acquisition of these phenomenal horses and all the training they've put in, that they apparently took in everything just fine that was going on at the market. So very, very happy and excited about that. Seminole Feed Stores, who we're going to have one of their champion riders on here on the show in a little bit, are having their Customer Appreciation Day. That's thank you to all of you. Do you know that Seminole Feed Store was the very, very first feed store in the horse capital of the world?
Wow.
And they've been open for, I think, 85 years or something like that. It's a lot, anyway.
We need to have a horse talk show tent there.
That's a good idea.
That would be a good idea.
Are you going to be there in your clown?
No.
Clown? Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell her you're going to do it. You'll be the rodeo clown.
Not.
Yeah, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're going to do it. You're signed up.
No.
September 21st. It's going to be at the Highway 40 West location from 8 to 4 and the Bellevue location from 8 to 3. And not downtown, so don't get confused by that.
Come join us for the fun festivities and some good...
Great savings. Massive savings. In-store items are on sale. Vendors will be on site. There'll be some food trucks, $1 off Seminole Feeds, $2 off Seminole Wellness, and there's a community used tack and equipment sale there as well. So you can come down there and be appreciated by Seminole Feed
There
Stores.
you go.
September 21. Put it on your calendar.
And the Hobby Horse Games coming to you November 22nd for the Equine Industry Expo, which will have lots of people giving demos and talking about what you can do in the industry for adults and kids. And then on November 23rd, we have the parade at Florida Horse Park, and we have the third annual Hobby Horse Games, which will have all sorts of different events like polo, show jumping,
dressage, mounted shooting. No, not this year. Barrel racing, vendors and food trucks, brought to you by the Equine Initiative, which is presented by Piranha. And this particular event is sponsored by AgPro on Saturday and by Advanced Staffing on Friday. We've got lots of other great sponsors. Pat Myers Electric is bringing you this amazing parade of horses at 10 o'clock on the Saturday morning, which is the 23rd. And special guest Linda Pirelli is going to be with us. And all of the money from this is going to go to the Equine Foundation for Education in our schools. So all good stuff. So get that on your calendar, November 22nd and November 23rd at the Florida Horse Park. Free admission for all. So you're driving down the road, you need to pull over safely and write this on your calendar immediately. Okay? Got it? Coming back with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital in just a minute. Stay with us. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors, DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch. This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. All horses need a solid immune system, excellent joint support, a healthy gut, and DAC has all the vitamins and minerals they need with the NASC stamp of approval. So like them on Facebook now or go to feeddac.com. DAC, it makes a world of difference.
Equestrian. It's not just a word but a title. It comes paired with hard work, discipline, and talent. LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Introducing the Hooflink system, powered by LipChip, where a microchip becomes a secure key to unlock temperature, register for your next event, and keep track of required documents. Simply implant, scan, and unlock. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options, offering prejuvenation for younger clients and rejuvenation for all ages. Nirvana knows you want to look your very best, but we've all seen people with the telltale signs of too much work. We want you to look like you, just better, brighter and younger, with all the newest and best in technology and all in the most beautiful surroundings. Like Nirvana Medical Spa on Facebook and find them on the web at nirvanamedicalspa.com. Become a better, brighter and younger you. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing, offering great communication, quality fencing, and all done in a timely manner. Reliable service with horse safety in mind all the time. Also offering customized residential, vinyl, wood, aluminium, and chain link fences services. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe. For more information, find Equifence of Florida on Facebook now. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital in Complete Care. Thank you to Larson Farms. They are our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we're excited that we're going to have Dr. Adam Cayot joining us in just a minute. But first of all, we want to make a mention for Peterson Smith. They actually have an open position for an equine ambulatory veterinary technician. That's a mouthful, isn't it?
Whoa.
I know,
don't say
right?
it twice.
Peterson Smith is looking for this is an immediate open for a self-motivated team player to join the team. You will obviously ride along with one of their top-notch equine ambulatory veterinarians. You can email your resume to Kaylee George at Peterson Smith, and their telephone number is 352-237-6151. This would be a great opportunity for somebody. I've got a funny story about that. Remind me to tell you later.
Okay.
But wonderful, wonderful company to work for, probably in the top 1 or 2 veterinarians in the USA, and a great company to work for, so please check that out. So, Dr. Cayot is going to be talking about vision concerns in older horses. And for people who have had horses into their senior years, obviously they've most likely experienced this. I was fortunate enough to meet actually a horse that only had one eye that ran in the Kentucky Derby patch. And horses certainly know how to overcome those things. And many do just fine with it, even getting around with no vision at all. But it is unfortunate and it's sad to see this in our older horses, and Dr. Cayot is going to talk a little bit about that coming up now in this segment. So here it is. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show with Dr. Adam Cayot from Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care, and we are going to talk about deteriorating vision, especially in older horses. And I'm sure, Dr. Cayot, you probably see that mostly in older horses.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's a natural sequela of living long, in horses. Certainly some of them can have eye injuries or things like that, or genetic things like moon blindness and things like that can crop up and cause issues. But the number one thing we see is just cataract formation over time. And I mean, you can do cataract surgery. A lot of people, when they're older, don't elect to do that. I mean, certainly there's juvenile horses that can get, juvenile cataracts that obviously it's worthwhile doing it at that age, because they're basically their foals or weanlings or whatever, and you can see it at that point. So for the most part, the horses that have vision issues tend to be older, and we're talking late teens into their 20s. And it, what you may notice is the horse acting a little bit more spooky than what they were before, like shying at things that aren't really there. You might notice it more at night than during the day, and that sort of thing. So, you know, obviously, if you see those things, you can call your veterinarian. They can do, you know, just a cursory ophtho exam. Generally, you can see cataracts just with a regular light, and then you can judge, you know, a bit of their vision by how, you know, a menace response, what we call, where we make a sharp movement at their eye, and if they blink, then you know they're seeing something, so they aren't totally blind. But there's certainly have been times where I've looked at the horse and they don't give me a menace response. So at that point, you know, obviously they're blind. Horses that are blind can do generally pretty well. Most of the time they don't lose their sight in both eyes at the same time, and certainly there's, you know, stories of horses that have had one eye removed and gone on to do great things.
Yeah,
and,
won races,
you know,
and all sorts of
stuff.
competed.
So that's not a big deal. Generally, most of them do pretty well. If they do go blind, totally blind, it's always good. They'll tend to hitch onto a friend, you know, and kind of have them lead them around, so to speak. And then that can become difficult if they lose that friend, because that's their eyes, so to speak. So you got to be aware of that. But typically those horses are really old, like, you know, upper 20s, getting into the 30s typically, when they're, you know, if you're lucky enough to have them live that long. So there's not a whole lot you can do, obviously, with uveitis and things like that, the moon blindness. You can treat them, you know, as needed with anti-inflammatories and things like that. That will help those circumstances. Those horses will always become blind eventually if they live long enough. And, you know, you just try, as far as that goes, you just try to help with the symptoms as they come. But the cataract stuff, like I said, I mean, you can have cataracts removed, but generally the horse is very old, and, you know, it's probably not very common for people to do, and, you know, probably not worth it, honestly, for an older horse like that, because something might happen to them tomorrow, you know, because they're so old. So, and they seem to manage just fine, honestly. They get around as long as things don't change too much for them and their environment and things like that. I've certainly had some horses that haven't handled it well, and then at that point you got to make a decision. But most of them do just fine, and they figure it out.
And a companion is a great idea.
Companion's a good idea. Yeah, always. Like that, always a good idea. So that's something you can think of if you.
That's the prey animal thing kind of comes into play there, where a horse kind of feels like it could be preyed on, probably not being able to see. Maybe even exaggerates that, so having a companion probably is a good comfort for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Helps them, you know, kind of where the barn is and where, you know, where the gates are.
They seem to always know where food is.
Like that. Yeah, they can figure that out pretty good.
They can find food.
Yeah, they can figure that out pretty good. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff. Obviously, any injuries or anything like that can affect their vision. You know, severe corneal scars and things like that they can actually handle corneal scars pretty decently, no matter how big they are. But you know, any of those things obviously can be an issue. But
can be an issue, especially later in life.
That's a case-by-case basis. You know.
Right, absolutely. Thank you. Dr. Adam Cayot with Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show. This portion of the Horse Talk Show is brought to you by Peterson Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care. Our television broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay, Idaho's finest alfalfa, and supporting sponsors DAC Minerals and Vitamins, Seminole Feed Stores, Lip Chip, Piranha, Pat Myers Electric, Florida HVAC Services, and Ocala Dog Ranch.
Faulty wiring is the leading cause of barn fires. I'm Pat with Pat Myers Electric. Equine facilities have special electrical needs. The knowledgeable and licensed team of electricians at Pat Myers Electric will ensure that you can achieve your vision for a beautiful, safe, and functional horse facility. From new construction to rewiring and updating, the Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. With a small farm of our own, we truly understand the unique concerns of the horse owner. Don't take chances. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores, family owned since 1934. manufacturing fixed formula horse feeds with mindful monitoring and quality ingredients right here in Ocala in an all-natural, non-medicated feed mill. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed. Like them on Facebook now or find them at SeminoleFeed.com.
Horses. Piranha! Oh no! Oh, the humanity! Oh, piranha.
Peterson and Smith Equine Hospital and Complete Care seeks to be a leading international veterinary practice that provides state-of-the-art veterinary care to their patients while fostering professional relationships with their clients that stand the test of time. For 24/7 and the best in equine care, check out Peterson and Smith at petersonsmith.com or like them on Facebook now for more information. The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hey, this is Buck Brannaman. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
This is Show Jumping 101 with Megan Vainosky with MV Equestrian Ocala.
Louisa Barton here for the CEP's Equine Initiative and the Horse Talk Show, and I am with Megan from MV Equestrian LLC. We are at Royal Blessing Farm where she does some lessons and training. We love Anne, the owner here, is absolutely wonderful at this rescue and boarding facility. We're going to chat a little bit about something a little bit off Show Jumping 101, but it's certainly part of it, and that is when you're shopping for a show jumping horse, some etiquette tips, and I know that there are certainly some woes and no's that we deal with, and when I say woes, I mean W-O-E-S, woes and no's in the horse buying world that we're going to talk about a little bit. And remember, folks like Megan put a whole lot of time and work and effort into these horses, and it's a lot of work and effort to prepare a horse for somebody coming to look at it for a possible purchase. So we're just going to kind of talk about some things you can do to help that process and perhaps avoid doing also to make it a much easier transaction for everybody, right?
Yes.
So I know there are a lot of people out there who deal with, it's kind of like selling anything. Sometimes I have some things on Marketplace and I wish I didn't, you know?
Yes, it is. It's full of tire kickers. For those who don't know what tire kickers are, basically people who like to waste your time, just to put it lightly.
I want to go for a horse ride today. I think I'll call someone who's got one for sale.
Yeah, and I mean, actually, I had someone admit to me that they were not interested in looking at my horses after they had asked me a million questions and for a million videos. They straight up told me that they were not interested. They spend their free time going on Facebook and finding horses for sale and just looking at their sale videos and asking for photos with no interest in purchasing at all. And that really made me want to bang my head against the wall. But the number one thing that I really look for is obviously pictures. I'm kind of a picture and video fanatic when it comes to that. I don't mind buying off of photos and I don't mind buying off of videos. I feel I'm well versed enough to watch a jogging video or to watch videos and make my own educated decision. But I'm also aware that in a situation like that, I might not be getting what I'm seeing. So I'm always financially prepared for that as well, you know, getting a horse that you think can jump 1.20 meters and above, and then you get here and the horse is not exactly up to par because it's having, you know, hock and stifle issues or this and that. So, which leads me to my next thing. Always, 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 always get a PPE done. I can't stress that enough.
That's a pre-purchase exam, by
yes,
the way.
Yes, pre-purchase exam by a licensed veterinarian. Very important. They're everywhere. So if you're buying a horse out of state, ask where the little area is, and you can kind of do your own research. Do not ask them. Do your own research in the area on the local veterinarians and call around figure out who you want to use, and then have someone come out to the barn and do a PPE, and then have them contact you afterwards and let them tell you their professional opinion. One thing that has happened in the past is, you know, hey, I'm buying a horse up in Minnesota. Hey, do you know a vet? And they give me the name of their vet, and I use their vet, and then their vet lied. And then I think that, you know, the vet said everything great. I get the horse came all the way down and was broken. So do your own research, use your own vet. Do not use the vet that you know, if you ask the person that you're buying from, don't use that vet. Use a completely different vet just to cover bases. Blood work, that's also a thing that I'm huge on doing for my PPEs, depending on, you know, what I'm needing this horse for. You know, if I'm just needing a basic trail horse, a basic PPE is fine. But if I'm looking for, you know, a barrel horse, a show jumping horse, or something to take me up the levels, I 100% do x-rays on their feet, on their hocks, stifles, back, I mean, basically the whole horse. Just to see everything, just to get a basis of where we're at. So going forward, I can do the proper maintenance, because I do maintenance on my horses. A lot of people don't do that, and I don't know why. I might be a little bit more towards doing it because I get maintenance done on myself. So I definitely want to do it for my horses that are jumping 1.20 meters and above. And my horses that are doing work for me regardless, I want to make sure that their joints are happy and healthy. And blood work, making sure your horse is not drugged. That has happened a lot. I've gone and looked at some hunter prospects, and coming from the veterinary field, I'm fortunate because I'm able to notice little subtle cues that maybe not your average horse person would know. When a horse is sedated, there are just some things that I've realized, like a droopy lip. They're kind of, if it's a boy, they're kind of dropped down a little bit. Pupils, that's a big thing. Please look at pupils. If their pupils are dilated or if their pupils are really big, don't ride the horse. And that's another thing. So just getting blood work done just to kind of rule out any drugs that they may have given the horse to sedate the horse. Because unfortunately, this industry has some bad apples where they will say whatever, do whatever to get the horse sold, to get the horse gone, to make money, to put money in their pocket. And a lot of people suffer, and ultimately the horses suffer because of that, whether they get dumped, euthanized, or, you know, then they're just not able to care for them, or whatever the case may be. So being transparent as a seller is super important, but I'm well aware that that's not going to be everybody. So as a buyer, you need to treat everybody with a magnifying glass. I'm huge on getting references. I ask around. I ask around in the area, who's dealt with this person, what was your experience, who's taken, you know, just whatever I can get out there.
Online, if there are any.
Exactly, just to see what I'm dealing with and to see if this person is genuine or not. And again, I know it's hard to kind of tell over social media, but you know, those are just some of the things that you can do, as well as one thing I hated when I first started, but now that I understand it, is FaceTiming and like the Facebook Messenger, FaceTime calls and stuff like that. That used to drive me insane, but I'm well aware of why people want to do it. They want to, one, make sure I'm a real person. Two, they want to make sure that my horse that I'm selling is alive and well. Mm-hmm. So I'm big on doing all of those video chats to an extent. You know, sometimes it gets a little overboard where I'm having to do 5 FaceTime calls every like 3 hours, and I'm like, okay.
That's a bit much,
It's a little much. But just make sure you cover your bases. Get a PPE done. That is like the most basic thing that you can do. And it makes me laugh where, you know, I have a $5,000 horse, and then I have a $45,000 horse, and I have 30,000 people asking me 80,000 questions about the $5,000 horse, but then I've had 4 people come out already, tried the $45,000 horse, and I've already bought it and left, you know, and it's just
and
like...
that's probably because you're dealing with more professionals on the higher end, so
Yes.
they know a little bit more, and you probably more newbies with the lower end.
Yes.
So that happens too. So
Yes.
pre-purchase exam, extremely important.
Yes.
Having those video calls, making sure that you've checked all those references, and then big time, don't be a tire kicker if you're interested in buying.
Yes.
Remember, these people spend a lot of time with horses, training, taking care of them. Don't take that person's time unless you're serious. And I think those are really the main tips that we want to put out there for you in buying and in selling, you know. And then number one, of course, be transparent. That's always important. And be very honest in this situation, because the wrong horse in the wrong hands, as Megan mentioned.
Exactly.
Megan Vainosky with MV Equestrian. We're here at Royal Blessing. Louisa Barton for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative.
Larson Farms is our TV broadcast sponsor. Larson Farms, Idaho's finest alfalfa.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala, where the entire team is committed to making your experience in sales and service hassle-free and easier than ever with no games or gimmicks. Come in and visit on Southwest College Road or online at palmchevrolet.com. A second-to-none experience with all the amenities. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
LipChip is a company built by equestrians to make life at the barn a little easier. Equestrians, the future is here, and the future is LipChip.
This show is brought to you in part by DAC Vitamins and Minerals of Florida. DAC, it makes a world of difference. The Equine Performance and Innovative Center, situated on 30 pristine acres in the horse capital of the world, is one of the finest and most complete conditioning and rehab centers for equines and canines in the nation, including an equine hyperbaric chamber, aqua pacer, water treadmill, cold water leg spa, equine swimming pool, Eurosizer, and more. Epic equine veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning. For more information, go to epcrehab.com or find them on social media.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. Get noticed with eye-catching vehicle wraps that showcase your brand's identity and earn you more business. If you're looking for a custom-designed vinyl wrap for horse trailers, box trucks, cars, or pickup trucks, for a single fleet vehicle, or for 100, no job is too big for the Smash Wraps team. Make your appointment to set your business apart today. Find us on social media or at smashwraps.com. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
This show was brought to you in part by TT Distributors, dedicated to bringing their customers the largest selection of quality horse supplements, products, and farrier supplies in Florida at affordable prices. Also online at ttdistributors.com.
Welcome back to the Horse Talk Show. Have you ever heard of a horse that can talk? Listen to this. With your host, Louisa Barton. She's literally in love with every horse. Presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. She's back in the saddle again. And now here's your host,
Pretty.
Louisa Barton. She's a Brit, she's got the gift of the gab, and her guests are fab.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Thank you for joining us back here on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And here is Seminole Feed champion rider Kyle Dewar. Enjoy. I want to say thank you to Angie from Seminole Feed Stores for making arrangements for the Horse Talk Show to visit Chestnut Hill Farm, and what a excellent opportunity it was to meet Kyle Dewar, and to have him ride up to us on his Nations Cup horse that has accomplished so much already, and just to have a chance to chat to him and walk down the hill with him and the horse and see what they're all about. And thanks Seminole Feed for definitely providing a premium diet for this horse so that she can be as successful as possible in all of her traveling and competitions. And here's the interview we had with Kyle at the farm. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and the CEP's Equine Initiative. This segment, an interview brought to you by Seminole Feed Stores. Shout out to Angie, wish she could be here, but the good news is we're going to have a series with Kyle Dewar later on where we're going to learn all about his life. But for this particular interview, we're going to chat about something very interesting that's coming up and exciting, and that is the Nations Cup. And Kyle will be riding for Canada, so I'm very excited about that. Kyle, thanks for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So tell us a little bit, for some of our viewers that are not horse people and are not very familiar, what Nations Cup is, and then kind of just run on what that means to you to ride in the Nations Cup.
Absolutely. So a Nations Cup format in the Olympic level is 3 riders with no drop score competing against each other for your country. On the lower level of Nations Cups, up to 5-star, it's 4 riders where you can have a drop score. I'm going to compete for Canada in Spain as one of the Canadian riders on the 4-man team. It's a huge, huge deal for me, for sure. This is not by any means the biggest Nations Cup in the world, but just to be able to compete for my country is very, very cool.
That's very exciting,
cool.
Isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
So you travel in about a week or so.
Yes.
And you'll head to France.
I will head to France. I'll be based in the south of France with a colleague, Kyle Tim, another rider on our Canadian team. We'll then go to Saint-Tropez for 2 weeks for a 3-star, then a 4-star. I'll fly home, go to Capital Challenge with some clients and my daughter, fly back again, drive to Spain, and then jump 2 weeks in Spain, and then the Nations Cup's at the end.
Wow. So what date will that be for the Nations Cup?
October 27th.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Okay, very, very exciting.
Yes.
Tell us about your horse. We watched you riding this morning, which was lovely.
Yes. So she's a 9-year-old French bred mare. She is a Diorado Quick Star. I tried her as an 8-year-old in France on a buying trip for a client. We didn't pass her up. We just kept watching. I sent my best friend to retry her 6 months later, and he said, we have to have this horse. So a very good close friend of mine, Jamie Jensen and Crooked Willow Farms, purchased the horse, and we've been competing her now, probably since December. And we started 140 classes, and now we've finished at 3- and 4-star Grand Prix.
That's incredible.
Yes.
And she's won a lot just even since March of this year, right?
Yes, six FEI placings so far. Wow. Yes.
And her name is?
Fille de Hermines. I'm probably saying
I'm glad you pronounced it.
But I'm sure it's incorrect, yeah.
But you just call her Fille.
We call her Fille, yes.
And she is really incredible, especially for 9. Wow.
She's unbelievable.
Very quiet.
Yes.
Very steady.
Yes.
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 Very consistent from what I see.
Very consistent. Her clean round percentage is increasing monthly. It's unbelievable. And always the biggest classes, she jumps the best.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Share with us a little bit about your feeding program. I know that it's been 4 or 5 years, I think, that you've been a Seminole champion rider. And I know from talking to many other top equestrians in the show jumping world, they tell me that they see the horse's performance, health, coat, everything. I've even had people tell me temperament changes from their Seminole Feed diet. So share with us a little bit about how that plays into your program and your success.
It's huge. We feed Dynasport, and I'm sure the girls will tell you we feed plenty of other Seminole products. But it's amazing. We had a horse come to us now 3 weeks ago, and I thought it looked very dull and crummy. And already today I was saying to my guys in the grooming stall, it looks like a new horse. It's very good product. I'm going to travel with enough grain for my 2 horses. Thank you to Seminole for helping me with that. But I don't want them to be on anything else. And you can tweak it just enough too for more energy, less energy. Very easy to put weight on, very easy to maintain weight. And all the horses like it, they eat it.
It's a game changer.
I think so, yeah.
And who knows, maybe it's played into Fille's
success as well, because since she's been with you, obviously, I'm sure you've seen changes.
Absolutely, yeah. Because she is still growing, and she doesn't walk out of the stall like a beautiful stallion. She's a little bit high with her head and low with the mid back, but she's put on a lot of muscle quickly, and you can maintain it without her getting heavy.
That's amazing.
Yes.
It's incredible. And I love to see you and your wife out there riding together. I think that's wonderful seeing Kathy. She is inspirational with what she's accomplished.
For
and,
sure.
and to see the two of you out there on horses together was lovely.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So will she get to travel with you, or does she have to keep everything going here?
I'm not sure. I just got into the Saint-Tropez shows yesterday before I was going to Morocco, so it's changing every day. For sure she'll be there for the Nations Cup and the kids.
And then of course your daughter rides.
She does ride, yeah.
Yeah, so that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet her too.
Yeah, she was just team silver medal at Young Riders, individual fifth, youngest rider in her division. I was very proud of her. She jumped 4 out of 5 rounds clean.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable weekend for her.
That's wonderful. So Nations Cup's a big deal. Is there anything else on your bucket list?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to jump the World Championships. I'd like to go to Spruce Meadows this summer. I have a lot of things I'd like to check off, especially while I have a horse. Yeah.
Right.
You can do this your whole life and never have one.
That's
you know,
amazing.
Everyone sees the top guys, and yeah, they have a lot of horses, but there's a lot of us that can still do it, and it's very hard to get a good horse.
Wonderful.
Very hard.
Well, she's the one. She's fantastic. I'm so impressed, especially for 9, to see what a mature mind she has. It's wonderful. Well, hats off to you for what you've done with her. It's incredible.
Yeah, in my conversations with Ian Miller, which have been more frequent, it's don't screw her up. She's only 9. You know, even the conversation about Morocco.
That sounds so Ian Miller.
Well, it was more colorful than that.
I'm sure.
But she's only 9. You know, the depth of the team is not huge for Canada, but we have some of the best riders in the world.
Who else is riding?
Well, for myself and Kyle Tim are riding in the Nations Cup, and then 2 younger girls based in Europe. I've never met them.
Wow.
But I mean, our team, we have Tiffany Foster, Erin Ballard, Amy Miller, you know, Mario Delorier, some of the best riders in the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. The U.S. could field 6 teams, but we have a very good small group.
Yeah, exciting
Yes.
stuff. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And this Chestnut Hill.
Yes.
Lovely facility. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. And the dogs. How many dogs do you have?
Lots.
A lot.
We have 4 that live in the house, and then more.
And rescues.
Yeah,
I love that.
We have minis.
I love that.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Really exciting.
I think my
stuff.
wife would argue, but I love it too. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Yes.
I've got this. You know, sucker. Please save me.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Kyle, I want to thank you so much for being with us. What I'm very excited about is when you get back, Angie from Seminole Feed and you, myself and your wife Kathy are all going to get together, and we're going to learn a little bit more about your life and about rockets and Pilates and all kinds of other interesting pieces of your life that I want to hear so much more about. So we're limiting this to the Nations Cup because you're going to get off on your trip and have great success. But when you get back, I look forward to coming back and doing a mini series on you and learning more.
That'd be great.
Fantastic.
I can't wait. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kyle.
Thank you.
So excited to be here with Kyle Dewar at Chestnut Hill and Louisa Barton here for Seminole Feed, for the CEP's Equine Initiative, and of course for the Horse Talk Show. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifence of Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian. The team of professionals at Equifence of Florida specialize in equestrian fencing. Equifence of Florida, quality fencing done right to keep your animals safe.
This show is brought to you in part by Seminole Feed Stores. Seminole Feed, simply the world's best and safest feed.
Oh, piranha.
My name is Dr. Natalie Solomon. I formulated Equigreen with cutting-edge science and technology alongside the passion that is represented by a lifelong love of horses. I created a product that I would trust for my horses because they deserve nothing but the best for their bodies. Horses rely on us to take care of them, to love them, to respect them. This is how Equigreen came to life. Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Does your farm need a facelift? Has the harsh Florida climate left your barns, stable doors, and fences stained? J&S Pressure Washing has a professional team who can exceed your expectations and restore your farm to its former glory. Get rid of dust and cobwebs that can cause allergies and health issues for horses, and keep your horses safe by limiting fire hazards in the barn. J&S Pressure Washing can clean your house, your barns, your fences, and your driveway, and you can count on dependable and professional services. For more information, call Steven at 352-502-5355.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
This is Charlotte Cannon, and you are listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the Horse Talk Show, presented by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms. They're our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
He might tell you that he is, but actually he's the rodeo clown. And listen, when I first saw him at Epic the other day, well, I'm not even going to tell you. Here it is. That was funny. Okay, so Dancing Pete Rhoda was the rodeo clown at the Equine Performance Center at Epic Dog Days. There were 227 competitors, and would you believe 57 dog owners tried out the swimming pool at Epic. So
Their dogs tried out the swimming pool.
Yes. So the Equine Performance and Innovative Center is most known for rehab for horses, conditioning. If you've got that horse that has got to stand in a stall due to an injury, it doesn't have to. So it really eliminates a lot of the concerns about horses that might get laminitis while they're stalled up when they're not used to it.
Dogs.
And they do therapy for dogs too. So these wonderful two partners of ours, the Equine Performance Innovative Center and Ocala Dog Ranch, got together to bring a mobile dog all the way from Ohio, put it in the Equine Performance Center parking lot, and have these competitions for dogs all weekend with some of the most wonderful vendors, fantastic opportunities to tour this incredible facility. And I just think it was epic. I really do think it was an epic event. The competitors were excited to be there. The dogs were having an absolute blast. They were in their absolute element. I just think that it was top notch. I think that Neil is a warrior, because he was out there in the heat all 3 days. And, there were only a few opportunities of dates that were possible for this wonderful event this weekend. And so it ended up being in August. It probably won't be in August again because it was so warm. But I think
you should have been in full makeup and outfits.
I know. Well, I had some costumes I was going to wear, which I was really excited about. But when my dad wasn't very well and I had to take off, I kind of had to miss out on all that. But it was an absolutely stupendous event. And I think everybody appreciated this so much, this chance to try this. And I think it brought out some people who usually compete, and then some new people were trying it. And I just think that Neil being out there in the hot weather all 3 days like that, he is one of a kind. Not only that, he took my dogs on for the weekend as well at the dog ranch so that I could run off to my family. And it was just an amazing, amazing competition, a wonderful, wonderful weekend. There was some raffles.
Yep, and we had fun things to do for the kids, and it was a lot of fun. I think next year they need to get a face painting for the kids. Here we did the duck. Into the duck, yes, in the pool. And the swimming pool there at the Equine Performance Center is excellent for dogs as well. And obviously they swim horses in that pool. Yeah, we did it. We actually did a dog in the duck.
You did a dog in the floating duck.
And I've got a fishing pole hooked to it.
Fishing. Okay, now I've seen it all. I missed that. That's fantastic. The dog looks like he's having a good time too. So really, hats off to Amanda and Dr. Rilan and all the team, Willie, all the guys that were so helpful and wonderful at the end of the event, even like during the cleanup and all of that. It was absolutely...
Yeah, that was a lot for Amanda because she's also a little pregnant.
She is?
Yes, ma'am.
What?
So yeah, it was a lot for her, but she got through it and she did a great job. So hats off to her.
So if everybody didn't know, now you know.
Oh, I hope sorry, Amanda, if I just threw that one out there for you.
Congratulations, Amanda.
Yes.
Amanda is at the Equine Performance and Innovative Center. So congratulations to Amanda. I did not know that. So you told me something I didn't know.
I hope she's now not going to come after me.
It was incredible. And I think looking forward to a future year to do this again would be phenomenal. And I think that if, this is just an event that's just going to grow and grow and grow as more awareness grows.
I always tell people the first event is what sells the second event.
That's right.
The second event sells the third event, just like the Hobby Horse Games.
That's right.
How many are we going to have this year?
It's a scary thought, actually. But that's wonderful, and Neil did an amazing job. But another mention for Ocala Dog Ranch, they are actually looking for a trainer. Their trainer actually has had to move on, so they are looking for a trainer at Ocala Dog Ranch. So if you're out there and you're listening and you're a dog trainer, you can reach out to Neil at Ocala Dog Ranch and let him know, as they are seeking somebody now for that position. So Neil, wonderful job, well done, so fantastic. And can I just give you a high five? Because you were there all 3 days with all that makeup on.
Oh, here I'm making friends.
Hosing people off.
Yeah, I'm making friends. That was hot water. I couldn't get it to get cold. So.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, but if you missed it.
On the radio, Dancing Pete Rodeo. Dancing? Maybe that's his new name. Dancing Pete Rodeo was dressed in full makeup. I want to know your secret to keeping that makeup on, by the way, in 100
Baby
degrees.
Powder.
Who knew? He was the rodeo clown at this event, and he actually had a backpack that you normally would spray like weed killer from. Right. And he was walking around actually spraying people, cooling them off. There were amazing ice cream sundaes there. There were food trucks. It was just a good time. Some of the best vendors. Equestrian was there, I know, on Saturday with their CBD. Maricamp Animal Hospital. Dr. Rilan's wife runs that small animal clinic.
What's the Italian
ice? That saved me on.
So good.
That saved me on
Sunday.
I
got cold headaches eating it, and then they brought the cream with it. Oh, it was amazing. But the dogs, learning about all the different sports was just amazing, and how they get the dogs to do it. It was just a lot of fun.
It's really neat, and actually Neil made a very, very good point to me. There's Amanda. Neil made a very good point to me. He said, you do not have to purchase an expensive purebred dog to do this sport.
Yeah, because that one was a rescue.
Yeah, he said you rescue dogs.
He's not supposed to be alive today, and now he's dock diving and having a blast.
And I think he told me 5 dogs were adopted because they had rescues there So Epic was doing swag bags and raffles, and they did a raffle every day. And
Great event for the kids.
Yes.
Come out, watch the dogs, and take one home.
Right, exactly. And 5 people did, apparently. And the raffle money all went to the rescues that were there. So each day they donated that money to a dog rescue. So you can get a dog from a rescue and compete. You can learn, you can take lessons at Ocala Dog Ranch, and then you can compete in one of their competitions. So it's like all perfect. That sound means we have to go. But we will be right back because we are going to go out on a limb with Joe from Joe's Tree Service. Stay with us. Thank you to the presenting sponsor of this portion of the show, Palm Chevrolet, and to our TV broadcast sponsor, Larson Hay. Also, thank you to the supporting sponsors, the Equine Performance and Innovative Center, TT Distributors, Equifence of Florida, the Florida Horse Park, Smash Wraps, Nirvana Medical Spa, Equigreen, JNS Pressure Washing, Horse Vans, and Midnight Rose Equestrian.
This show is brought to you in part by TT Distributors, also online at ttdistributors.com.
Cut through the noise and distinguish your business with a custom vehicle wrap from Smash Wraps. And remember, don't just wrap it, smash wrap it.
Epic Equine Veterinarians specializing in rehab and conditioning.
This hour of the Horse Talk Show is presented by Palm Chevrolet in Ocala. Palm Chevy, find new roads.
Equigreen, CBD for your horse that you can trust.
Nirvana, Ocala's premier medical spa, is leading the way in great skin with all the newest in treatment options. Become a better, brighter, and younger you.
The Pat Myers Electric team is ready to jump in and help keep your horses safe. For all your current barn needs, go to patmyerselectric.com.
The Horse Talk Show broadcasts from the CEP's Equine Studios in downtown Ocala in the horse capital.
Hi, this is Hall of Fame jockey Mike Smith. You're listening to the Horse Talk Show.
Back on the final segment this week of the Horse Talk Show, brought to you by Palm Chevrolet, your hometown Chevy experience. Thank you to Larson Farms. They are our television broadcast sponsor.
Idaho's finest alfalfa.
I'm Louisa Barton.
I'm Dancing Pete Rhoda.
And we are now taking it to Joe, and he is going out on a limb for you with Joe's Tree Service. Here he is. Louisa Barton here for the Horse Talk Show and also for the CEP's Equine Initiative, because I have a CEP partner here with me, Joe from Joe's Tree Service. And listen, if you have a horse farm, you've probably got tree concerns. This is certainly the gentleman to talk to about that. We're going to get a little bit of information on the tree behind us right now because it's going to be gone soon. And that is good news for me. I'm somebody who doesn't really like to take trees down if I don't have to, but there's a lot of reasons why this tree needs to go away. So, Joe, thank you for being with us.
Hello, I'm Joe with Joe's Tree Service, and this is a long-needled southern pine, and it is close to our house, and it needs to probably be removed because it's a softwood tree, and anytime we have storms coming through, we've been having what's called a microburst, and that leaves some of these trees, species like this, rendered to destruction, and it's near the house, and if it's near the house, we try to eliminate destruction near the house.
Right. My bedroom is right there. My house is right there. So very, very close proximity, probably 20 feet, 15 feet away. And this is, you mentioned, 75 feet
yep.
tall. So if this was to fall, the likelihood is that it would fall right onto the house.
Or pretty close to it.
Or pretty close. And I've been losing a lot of these limbs up here have been falling, very, very large limbs, big enough to actually squash a dog if they fell, that have actually been falling. I'm very surprised this last storm, it didn't come down. But I think that, especially when we have things like the hurricane we just had, initially, we're very thankful that was a lot of planning done ahead of time for this storm to have emergency systems in place. We thought it was going to be a little bit of a tropical disturbance. Fortunately, it only ended coming in at a Category 1, but even that did a lot of destruction. If it had been a 2, 3, 4, it could have done a lot of destruction. So these softwood trees can be very dangerous, especially if they're close to your house or your horse barn or your shed or some building on your property.
Right, or your water supply, because that's one thing we've also had to do is save a farm that had the pump was taken out by a tree because they had pine trees next to it, and they didn't withstand the storm, and that's what happened. And then they had to have a water truck bringing in water to the horses, over 50 head of horses, and they kept it up, but risk could have been eliminated had it been beforehand.
Quick shout out for Joel from JNS Pressure Washing, by the way. What a wonderful guy. He was taking water to farms. I saw that on social media and I said, good for you, Joel. Well done.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, you mentioned not really liking taking down good trees, which I love about you because that's how you make money, but you love a beautiful oak tree if you can avoid taking those down. This, of course, is not. But let's talk a little bit about the procedure. So how do you take a tree like this down safely?
Well, the first steps are we evaluate the area it's in, what's in the ground, what's around the ground, so that way as we're taking it down, nothing gets broken underneath the surface. Then we start to piece it out. We'll put safety ropes in it, structured ropes in it, and then start to piece it out in small pieces, especially when it's close to a house. The only way you keep control of certain things is to take it out in smaller sections. That way everything comes out safe and nothing goes wrong. Small bites is the win.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah. So a little bit at a time. So you're going to have your crew working on taking this down very, very safely. And then when we get to the bottom, we were thinking about stump grinding, but then we said, we can make this into part of my dog obstacle course because I'm training to be an Ocala Dog Ranch expert here and might teach my dogs some things. So this actually can become an obstacle, which is wonderful with what's left of the stump.
Absolutely, I'm all in. I like ingenuitive situations like that, and we'll make something of it.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
So share with me just briefly here before we wrap this segment up. You love trees. You mentioned you've been to some places people wanted to take trees down, and you said, well, could we just trim this one back instead? And I really like that. Share a little bit about how much you care about doing the right thing.
Right. Well, we've had certain customers that had oak trees dropping acorns on the driveway, and a lot of times they want them removed just to alleviate the problem, but that's not the problem. We can just trim it back to where the tree stays standing, continues to make air, continues to provide shade, and also if you think about the wind mitigation of where your trees are located, sometimes you look at them as if they were a nuisance, but actually they're going to slow the wind down enough to possibly keep the roof on your house.
Very good point.
Just an idea.
And with us having tropical storms and hurricanes during these summer months, we want as much wind mitigation as possible, right?
Right. They all act as almost as a net, if that makes sense. They work together so that way if there's a hard breeze that comes through, they stay tethered together, and so does your roof.
Absolutely. Joe's Tree Service. If you have a farm or even just a residence that has tree issues, this is the guy to talk to. And you're going to find out in another segment with Joe. He's got a lot of horse experience, so he's definitely the guy you want to have on your farm for your tree concerns and problems. So Joe with Joe's Tree Service, you can find them on the internet. I'm Louisa for the CEP's Equine Initiative and the Horse Talk Show. Joe's a horseman, and all of us want to have people, if possible, that have horse experience on our farms, especially doing things like cutting down trees and making sure that fences don't come down with tree limbs and all that sort of thing. And I love the fact that he wants to preserve as many trees as possible. So we love Joe. Check him out at Joe's Tree Service. We have just got a few minutes left. I'm so glad that we ran out of time, so he can't sing happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to Louisa. So
I have a Prezi here if you're on the radio, and I also have a cake. So find us on Equus Television Network, and also you can watch us on Facebook, so you can see me getting my Prezi. That tissue paper's too nice.
Because you're doing the paper by the microphone.
I know. Oh well. You know what? It's forgivable on birthdays. So what do I have here, Dancing Pete?
You have a 22-foot line with a halter, and you have the camouflage.
I have the camouflage design halter. Tell me about this halter.
So that's a rope halter, and it's very loose. So that means when you release, it gives instead of the starched ones. It only has 2 knots over the nose because that's what I prefer. And it will help you with your horse.
So this is for Mr. Flynn, my BLM Mustang.
And then the 22-foot line gives you some distance, and then you also get a stick.
I can TikTok you with this.
Yes, ma'am.
This is for beating Dancing Pete Rhoda when he misbehaves, by the way. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love this. This is a really lovely birthday present.
Yay, and I got
tell
you a
me
cake.
about the cake I'm going to eat here in a minute.
Yeah, it's a cake from Publix. It's homemade from Publix.
Homemade from Publix. Quick shout out for Wildlife Works. Because we ran out of time this week, we don't have Dancing Pete's tip of the week, but we want to thank them for all that they do in keeping critters out of the barn and away from your horses.
You're getting the right equipment to make it easier.
To make it easier, yes, and I love this.
The right tools make it a lot easier.
I've had the I wants of one of these for a while, so
Yes,
this makes me really, really happy. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And are we going to cut the cake? Is someone going to sing happy birthday?
I hope not.
Not Pete, right? No, I know, right? I'm a year younger.
So how old are you, 28 or 29?
Let's go with 29.
Okay.
29 plus plus.
What was it? They used to say 29 twice?
Yeah. No, gosh, no. We're not. It's not that bad. It's bad, but it's not that bad.
All right, we got the cake cut.
We got cake, and I'm going to have a plate for my cake, and I'm going to be 29 plus a little bit. And Pete, you were so sweet to me. I'm so blessed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here, before we finish up.
Oh.
Whether you're in Ocala, Marion County, the horse capital of the world.
Or not.
Happy horsing around until next week.
We'll see you next time.